Hey guys, Daniel here. Just to share some of my experiences, see if you get any wisdom from it. Just recently, as I don't know if you know that I work. So basically, I work for my day job is I work for my dad's company, Bridgecom Systems, and we sell communications equipment. So basically, physical products, e-commerce. Um, to boil it down into overall terms, right? We've just hired on another new guy, a young man, um, and I am managing him. So now I am currently managing three people, um, three young, two marketers, and then a graphic designer. I also am doing marketing myself and sales. So I mean, and then obviously answering to my father, who's my boss. But he's now kind of stepping out of the marketing side and letting me and my team kind of run it. But it's kind of interesting. It's actually almost like a marketing agency. It really is almost pretty much most of the business in itself. He's now handling just pretty much my dad. That is just handling pretty much going to go move towards the fulfillment and the back end kind of part of the business. As well as the mission and the taking the business forward. But it really is almost like a marketing agency in a way, or any small business. But in this case, we'll apply it to marketing agency. I'd be pretty much doing the same thing, and I am. You'd run a small team, do sales and work in the business yourself. Probably at least starting off until you can really build it up. But anyway, this kid or this young man, he's he has a background, and I guess he ran some drop shipping stores and dabbled slightly in e-commerce and such. Like a lot of us, I did the same thing, a year back, but really honestly doesn't know very much about anything, but is willing to learn and has, hopefully has the grit and the capability to learn what he needs to learn in order to be a valuable person. So, you know, the result of him not knowing much is that he's cheap. But for us, so that's the benefit. But we have to train him, and we have to mold him into what we think him what will be valuable to us. But he also to where he'll stay, and we can both get a mutually beneficial arrangement. So, having him on now, it's an interesting trip for me because I'm pretty much training him now, and while it's doing everything else, and it's kind of, I mean, just this is day two. He's just started Monday. This is Tuesday night. But yeah, I mean, I've got it's like a whole different dynamic because I had another guy I was kind of managing, but he's very self sufficient, but he's been with us for like 6 months, so he's kind of he's found his kind of place. I mean, and the thing is that we're kind of pushing the envelope with what we're doing because we've got like a lot of stuff that we're doing now that we just need to get better at, but there's also like more projects and different kind of like platforms and tactics we want to employ that none of us really know how to do, and but we just need we have the fundamental understandings, or at least I do. One of our guys does, my dad does, but this new guy doesn't. So he needs to be trained in the core fundamentals of, direct response marketing, basically, and online e-commerce marketing. So we're having him take some courses, in the background when he's off work, maybe when he's in work. But I think as long as he's just capable and is willing to do the work and figure it out. And I think that's me being, I've been on both sides of the curtain. I've been on the employee side, and still am to an employer, but now I'm more so where I'm not really being managed too much, and I'm more like on the owner management side, looking down and figuring out like what I need and how to get the most out of the team, and keep them happy, and but also without like killing myself trying to figure all this stuff out. Hopefully they would like there's a balance. So it's kind of a whole different dynamic that I'm learning on the fly, which is great. But I understand now. I mean, I don't get very stressed as a person, but I can see why somebody, like, I've spoken to people, and I just couldn't understand. They're in their jobs and they like won't move up because the only way up is to get into management, and I've just never really understood, why would a person not want to move up in their job and take on more responsibility. But now I kind of understand like where that could come from. It's not like it's work. It takes. I mean, it's not like a lot. It can be broken down. It can be simplified, but it takes a lot of brain power and stress management and stuff to manage the team effectively, I guess. So, I mean, from the things that I like as a manager, like I'd want to see is, obviously a person has to be trained. They have to know, at least the fundamentals of whatever you're doing. In this case, digital marketer would be, a job title, but there's so many other just little things, like just little projects and little, it's not like you just go and sit in a cubicle and make Facebook ads in this job, right? Like there's a lot of different things that you're going to have to figure out. And, but what would, and I think this is what, a lot of people want, like if you're in an agency or if you're working for somebody, they want you to be, I mean, they want to manage you as little as possible and get the results. And what that takes from an employee's perspective is the employee needs to be able and willing to just figure things out. Like if there's one word I could describe it as is just being like capable. Now I personally have always been kind of a capable person. Like if there's a problem, I'll solve it. Right. And I've always, it's not new things, like having to learn new things never really like stressed me out too hard, because I just know that I'm smart enough and I have the willpower to figure things out and like complete them. Right. And that's, exactly, especially as you move into new territory, like with, this e-commerce, physical products business, we kind of are like, we're trying to iron out, systemize and process the business, but at the same time, explore new areas, new products, new strategies, new marketing strategies, new sales strategies, all at the same time. As like for this kid, we just needed more hands. Like there's a lot of work. We have, going and taking lots of courses, going to lots of conventions. We've attained all the strategy we can really handle right now. It's not really a matter of the strategy. It's a matter of the hands, and minds to accomplish all of this stuff. Right. So, this new guy, he's kind of a little bit of an investment, as with any employee, I guess, anybody you hire, because, initially you have to train them in your business, in what you need them to do. But eventually, and that for me, like it's, initially in just the last couple of days, it's not been a whole long time, but it's taken time away from what I could be doing in order to train him, which is fine. But it just, you have to think about that, like you're planning further down the line, to reap your rewards. So, after you've been trained, you need to be capable. You need to be able to figure things out, because that's all that, it's just like with business, you get paid in proportion to the problems you solve. And if you can solve your problems for your boss or your clients, without them having to, help you as much as possible, you'll be infinitely more valuable, because you'll be able to solve their problems without them having to burn, mental calories to help you solve their problems, because that's what they're paying you for. So, the better you can solve your clients or your boss's problems, the more you'll get paid. And the easier it is for them, the more you'll get paid. So, I mean, that's in the same way, like with my dynamic with my, father/boss. He's kind of like, we're very different people, me and him, like in the way that our minds work. He's extremely, he's analytical. He's, introvert, engineer, producer, he's, an imaginer, right? Whereas I'm like, I imagine, but I can like, I can visualize and put into perspective the, real world. Like I could see a plan like laid out, and I just like execute. I can just execute immediately, and I'm very good with people, as you can see, on the camera here. Pretty good. Never been a problem for me. Easy to interact, which is a great dynamic between us, because I can handle a lot better a lot of the business aspects that he can't, where he can do a lot of things I can't, like the back end, more of the analytical stuff, more of the planning, the finances, stuff like that, right? And I'm sure I could run those as well. I just am not, just because it's not my place right at the moment. But yeah, so it's a good dynamic, but you need to play to your strengths, and you need to play other people's strengths to your weaknesses. So try to find people that complement yourselves. Like, I'm good with, at sales, for instance, but maybe not good at like fulfilling the services, like digging into the Facebook ads, like really making sure, hypothetically, right? So, then if that's the case, like hire somebody that is going to be good at like running the Facebook ads, whereas you can just do all the selling and the interaction, and they, find somebody else that can handle the stuff that you don't want to do, but they're far better at, that they don't want to do, like say the sales, and that's just business. That's just scaling. It really is very difficult to do, a whole one-man show by yourself. It's just not feasible unless you want to work, 14 hours a day. But yeah, that's all I got for you. Just a little kind of story and a record from my life. Thought I'd share, give you some insight, maybe get some nuggets. Yeah, if you found some value and like to see more, please just go down and like, comment if you have anything, and subscribe to the channel for more. Look forward to talking to you again, guys. See ya. Bye-bye.